Once upon a time, in a magic forest of Ardennes, in the north of France, there was a teenage girl called Julie. She is 16 years old, she has long brown hair, she is wearing a sweatshirt and slim jeans. She is French, and she has a baby goat called Cobette. Julie was walking in the forest, and she saw a pile of stones. In fact, the stones were the castle of the devil. The devil arrived and he proposed to Julie to discover the myth and legend through Europe. Julie accepted and they went to a secret tunnel and it took them to Germany.
Julie woke up, looked around, and saw a huge stage of an open-air theater with water behind it. After she realized she wasn't in France anymore, she looked for Cobette. Then she heard the voice of the devil.
I'm bored. Are you awake?
But she didn't have the chance to answer, because someone on the stage started to scream.
Finally, we arrived on the Isle of Rügen.
The devil said.
If you listen carefully, you will learn about the life of Störtebeker. He's one of the most famous pirates of German history.
While listening to the history of the Hanse, her goat suddenly appeared on the stage. Cobette was frightened because of the fireworks and ran away on a boat. Julie and the devil ran after her, and the boat started its way to Finland.
The boat crashed into the harbor. It was a nice, chilly winter day in Helsinki. This is the capital of Finland. You'll probably find some great stories here, the devil said.
Julie held Cobette close to her because that poor thing was freezing. Then Julie, Cobette, and the devil started exploring the city. They saw many historical buildings and statues.
Look, Cobette, said Julie. Is that Santa Claus? I've heard he lives in Korvatunturi. What is he doing here in Helsinki? The devil asked. Santa Claus noticed them and smiled.
You must be our foreign visitors, he said. Here, have some warmer clothes. Then he gave Julie a nice warm scarf. Cobette got a woolly hat, and the devil got mittens. Now I believe you've got somewhere to go, Santa Claus said. Borrow my reindeer, they will take you to your new destination.
And before Julie could thank Santa Claus, she was riding a reindeer which was going to take her to Romania.
A blizzard started. The reindeer, scared, left them amongst the snow-coated pines. Great! Now what? The devil muttered. Look! The girl pointed to a ranch. There a shepherd in a wool coat greeted them. You witnessed the doing of a Solomonar, forgotten priest from ancient Romania, controlling weather, he explained. But what brings you here? Night fell. Cobette got startled and ran towards the forest, Julie running after her. Where the goat stopped, women in white dresses were dancing graciously around wild flames. Let's join them, the devil said impatiently. Julie leaned mesmerized. Get back, the shepherd dragged her. Muttering something eerie, the wind howled and intensified at his will. The dancing silhouettes disappeared, screeching furiously. What? Julie mumbled, awestruck. They returned in silence. The man gave a black horse and ushered them to Brasov. Leaving, flapping sounds echoed. When Julie gazed back, two amber eyes towered the man, as snow rose around him.
They rode through the thickets near the Vlaga Impaler's castle until they reached the city where medieval buildings melded with modern structures. There, they spent 2 days and took the first plane to Athens. Flying, she remembered fairy tales from distant eras, but gazing upon the technology around her, she wondered if what happened was real.
Having landed in Athens airport, Julie decided to visit the archaeological site of Acropolis. She was really impressed by the architecture of the Parthenon and the Erechthon and the Aeson Theatre. While Julie was wandering around, she realized that her goat Cobette was missing. Looking for the goat, she came across Ulysses, who was trying to reach Ithaca, his home island. Arriving at the port, they found Cobette on board Jason's boat Argo. Aeolus, the god of the winds, ordered the winds to blow, and huge waves took Julie with her goat and Ulysses to the airport of Alexandroupolis, where they met Cyclops Polyphemus in his cave. Listening to their adventures carefully, Polyphemus volunteered to help Ulysses to get to his destination. Polyphemus gave them a modern boat and asked his father Poseidon, the god of the sea, to assist them reach Ithaca. After arriving at Ulysses' home island Ithaca, Julie and Cobbett had a traditional Greek meal and a rest. While they were swimming in the crystal clear waters of the Ionian Sea, they were transferred by waves to Spain.
Julie and Cobbett arrived in Valencia, a city of Spain. They were very hungry, so they decided to eat a paella and some tapas. When they were full of energy again, they decided to go to Toledo, a smaller city in the center of Spain. During their way, they met Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, who were fighting with mules in Consuegra. After a while, the men stopped fighting and they decided to walk together with Julie and Cobbett to the village near Consuegra. They passed through forested paths, across magnificent streams, until they arrived to a hill full of mills. Don Quixote realized that there were soldiers waiting for him, and he started a battle. Sancho Panza tried to help him again. Julie and Cobbett were looking at them, trying to avoid kicks and hits from Don Quixote, who was battling tirelessly. Suddenly, a mill sail hooked Cobbett up, and the goat flew up to the sky. "Oh my God, I have to save my goat," said Julie desperately. The girl took a sail and she flew into the sky too, just following Cobbett. Both of them fell in the middle of Italy.
Julie and Cobbett looked around and they realized they were in Rome. While they were astonished by the beauty of the Roman Forum, the Colosseum where gladiators were fighting, they started to get pangs of hunger. Cobbett spotted a plant of basil outside the door and immediately went for it. Julie had a look at what was behind the plant and saw the sign, Pizzeria. She went in and ended up eating 3 whole pizzas.
The paella didn't quite fill her up.
But when she came out, Cobbett was not there anymore. She went to look for her, and finally she spotted her drinking out of limpid water from the Trevi fountain.
She immediately took her away, but too late. The devil, in the role of a policeman, started to chase her. She ran and ran, and when she stopped, the rest of the landscape has changed. No woods, no roads, only green hills. There, in a cave, she saw something strange. A wolf, a she-wolf, with 2 human babies on the others, crying for milk, but she didn't have any left.
Julie then remembered the last history lesson. This must be Romolo and Remus.
The 2 abandoned twins whose destiny was to found the biggest city in Italy, Rome.
Cobbett looked at the poor babies desperate for milk and offered to give them her own. In the meantime, the devil arrived on his Vespa scooter and offered Julie and Cobbett a lift to the north of Italy. As soon as they got there, they saw a terrifying scene. A bull and a dragon were fighting. The bull won and the dragon died. In honor of the bull that had liberated the city from the dragon, the inhabitants decided to call the town Torino, because bull in Italian is toro.
This time, the devil changed into a Ferrari and then raced to Venice. At the moment, the famous carnival was going on, and everybody was wearing beautiful costumes and masks. The devil felt really happy and confident, because usually people hated him because of his ugly appearance. But that time, people turned around to stare at his beautiful mask and costume.
Julie was exhausted but happy with what she has accomplished on a journey through Europe. She had seen many places with different myths and tradition. All this thanks to the devil. She realized that the devil was not as black as he was painted.
And since that day, he went back to Venice every year to spend the happiest day with Julie and Cobbett.